Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Alexia Nepola makes a damning declaration about Todd. I can't go back to this guy. Housewives Alexia Nepola opened up about her hesitation to reconcile with Todd Nepola. The Real Housewives of Miami Season 7 has already been an emotional roller coaster for Alexia Nepola. On the June 11 season premiere, Alexia revealed she was blindsided by husband Todd Nepola filing for divorce, only to reconcile with him shortly after. The saga continued on episode 2, when Alexia seemed to have another change of heart about her relationship. During the June 18 episode, Alexia revealed to her friends that months after filing for divorce, Todd was being forced by the courts to either drop the filing or proceed, and her feelings on it were complicated. "I'm still in love with this man," she confessed during the group dinner. Julia Lemagova quickly reminded her of the betrayal she felt when Todd moved out behind her back, but in front of her 28-year-old son, Frankie Rosello. "When I ran into Todd in the restaurant, all I was thinking was, you are the guy. Now you're smiling at me, but you are the guy who left Frankie," she told Alexia. "You know what? F him. F him. F Todd," Alexia answered, as all of her friends cheered. She later added, "My kids are everything to me." "That's so f***ing true. He did that." But then she began to cry at the table and revealed just how complicated of a situation it was. "I'm still attracted to this f***ing a-hole. You guys have to help me," she sobbed. "I can't go back to this guy. He's a f***ing monster." Alexia's declaration against Todd at dinner came just days after she and Julia took a Pilates class, and she was in a much different mindset at that time. "You know, I'm like in an emotional limbo," she told Julia after learning that Todd either had to proceed with the divorce or dismiss it. "I hope he doesn't proceed with the divorce," she admitted. "I don't know what it is, Julia. Like honestly, like years ago, I would have been done, but it's hard." The decision of whether to make things work with Todd came after months of trying to mend their relationship. "For 5 months I've put in so much effort into saving my marriage," Alexia told Julia. But rather than make a decision herself, Alexia claimed the ball was in Todd's court. "So I guess I'll just have to accept the decision and say this is what God wanted and God has a plan," she admitted. "But yeah, I'm super anxious." Yes, ultimately, Alexia and Todd decided to proceed with their divorce. However, they are still romantically together. "After thoughtful reflection, Todd and I have reached an amicable divorce settlement. While our marriage has legally ended, our relationship has not," Alexia explained in a statement to People in March 2025. "We continue to love and support each other as we navigate this next chapter. We appreciate the understanding, love, and support from our family, friends, and fans." Would Alexia remarry Todd now that they're officially divorced? Don't miss her surprising answer. The Miami sun shimmered through floor-to-ceiling windows in Alexia Nepola's high-rise condo, casting diamond patterns across the pristine marble floor. In the heart of Brick Hill, the air was as thick with humidity as it was with tension. Alexia, ever the queen of candor and couture, sat cross-legged on her cream buckle chaise, wrapped in a silk robe that caught the light like moonlight on water. Her face, framed by waves of perfectly tousled blonde hair, was unreadable, calm, yet unmistakably resolved. A glass of roses sat untouched at her side. She had something to say. And when Alexia Nepola has something to say, the world listens. "I've been quiet too long," she said, voice low but steady, with the resonance of someone who's rehearsed this in her mind 1,000 times. "But silence is no longer an option, not when the truth matters this much." The truth, it seemed, had been hiding in plain sight, and its name was Todd. For months, whispers had danced around Miami's social circles. Rumors about coldness, about control, about secrets behind closed penthouses and yacht decks. But Alexia had dismissed them until she couldn't anymore. "It's not easy admitting that someone you love might not love you the same way in return," she said, her voice cracking only slightly. Or that maybe they love something else more, themselves, their image, their control. Todd had once been her safe harbor, her calm after the storm. After a lifetime of loss, her ex-husband's imprisonment and death, her son's accident, her rocky path through love, Todd appeared to be a bomb. Smart, sophisticated, polished. Too polished in hindsight. He was always so composed, so in control. But now I wonder if that control was more about me than about life, she said. It was never yelling or hitting. No, Todd's way was much more subtle. She took a long breath, steadying herself before delivering what she called her damning declaration. I was manipulated, emotionally, strategically, Alexia declared. And it didn't look like abuse, it looked like luxury. Trips, dinners, arm in arm at galas. But beneath it was something darker. It was gaslighting in designer suits. According to Alexia, the turning point came 6 months ago during what should have been a simple conversation about her son Peter. Todd had made a comment that struck her to the core, something dismissive, something chillingly clinical. He told me I was emotionally indulgent. That Peter needed less coddling and more consequences. But Peter had been through hell. He didn't need a stepfather, he needed empathy. The remark wasn't an isolated one, she claimed, but part of a slow unraveling. Todd, she said, had an uncanny ability to twist narratives, to subtly cast her as irrational, dramatic, or too Latina. I'd be passionate, expressive, he'd call it performative. If I cried, he'd say I was playing victim. If I got angry, I was volatile. It's classic emotional invalidation, dressed up as concern. Alexia paused, swirling her glass, though she still didn't drink. I know women who stay in these dynamics for decades. I almost did. But then I remembered who I was. The decision to speak out, she explained, wasn't about revenge. It was about liberation. She wanted other women, especially those in the spotlight, to know that emotional manipulation doesn't always come with raised voices or bruises. Sometimes it comes with champagne toasts and constructive criticism. I'm not saying Todd is a monster, she said. I'm saying Todd made me feel small. And that's not love, that's ego. The aftermath of her realization was, predictably, turbulent. Friends took sides. The press ran amok with speculation. But for Alexia, the most painful blow was the one to her sense of self. You start to question everything, your memory, your reactions, even your instincts. That's the real damage of emotional gaslighting. She began therapy, leaned into her friendships, and recentered her life around her sons and her businesses. And then, bravely, she decided to share her story. Todd, she noted, had not taken kindly to her candor. He said I was ruining his reputation, but if your reputation can't withstand the truth, maybe it's not worth protecting. What followed was the slow detangling of their lives, a process complicated by shared properties, intertwined social circles, and the ever-prying eye of Bravo cameras. But Alexia insisted on transparency, even when it was uncomfortable. If I could survive the headlines about my ex-husband, the lawsuits, the tragedies, I could survive this. Her declaration sparked a wave of support. Women from all walks of life flooded her DMs, thanking her for naming what so many endure silently. Some even shared eerily similar stories. I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes, been reactive, held on to love past its expiration date. But I won't apologize for finally choosing peace.